Hi everyone, this is Country Music News International, where we speak to the people you need to listen to. My name's Nigel Sharpe, and my guest today is Mr. David Frizzell.
Well, it's good to see you.
Yeah, it's nice to see you too. I got to tell you, I'm a bit nervous about this evening. It's not every day you get to meet and talk to a legend of the country music scene, or any music scene for that matter.
We don't hardly have a music scene anymore.
Well, yeah, tell me about it.
We're gonna do something about that.
When was the last time you had a gig?
Actually, I got one coming up on the 24th, which is we're getting ready to go out and do something, but it hasn't been a lot. There's been a few, little things here and there, but not a real big blown concert. We haven't been able to do any of those.
Yeah,
so really missing those. Missing those. I miss getting out and having that one-to-one with the fans, with the people who really like what it is you do, and a lot of people come from many miles. In fact, the one coming up on the 24th of this month, there's some people coming from, halfway across the states, just to be there. So that's pretty amazing.
It's kind of like the energy that you get from an audience.
It is, isn't it?
Just that thrill, just gets you going.
And we've always fed off of that.
Yeah.
So even way back when I was trying to getting in the business with my big brother Lefty, boy, I tell you what, those people made it all happen. Actually made it happen. And how they run up to big brother Lefty and stuff, it just made it all happen for me. So I can't wait to get back into it.
Yeah, I saw on your website that you're touring this show, Lefty, Merle, and Me.
Oh goodness, yeah. Well, I wrote the song, and I can't remember exactly what spurred me on to write it, but I wrote the song, and then when I was in the studio getting ready to record it, Marty Haggard comes in.
Okay.
And so I said, Marty, why don't you sing this part? He just jumped in there, rewrote it just a little bit, and sang with me. And I love any of the Haggard. I don't care. I've known him for years, but Marty jumped in there and just sang the fool out of it. So, but that's one of the songs I wrote, and it's a good thing because there was always Lefty, and then there was always Merle with me.
So how do you put that show together? What kind of material are you doing in that show?
Well, I always do mine. Do Gonna Hire a Wino, Decorator, that one. And then I do the Oklahoma song.
That's one of my
favorites.
I
don't know if you know this or not, but this is the 40th anniversary of You're the Reason God Made Oklahoma. The 11th of this month is when it went number one across the country.
Yeah.
In 1981. 40 years. Does that sound right? 40 years?
It's crazy, isn't it? Well, I tell you, it's one of my favorite songs.
It took us from being nobody anybody knows to a household name.
Yeah.
David Frizzell and Shelly West. I remember when it first came out, I was in Compton playing Country Palace in Compton, California. And a big radio station in San Jose. And I knew when the song was coming out. All of a sudden it started coming out. He said, "We have a brand new song here today." He said it's You're the Reason God Made Oklahoma. And let's see, it's a David Frizzell and Shelly West. And the next week it was You're the Reason God Made Oklahoma and Frizzell and West. And then about the next week, as it went into the top 10, it's here's David and Shelly with You're the Reason God with Oklahoma. So people got to know us that way, got to know us. We became household names. And a song that great will do that for you. And took us around the world, but it was amazing. What a ride.
Yeah.
Then it wasn't long after that, we're gonna hire Wino, came out, and it just took over the world for me. And it actually took me around the world a few times. So I've been very lucky, very fortunate.
Where do those songs come from? Did you write them, or did you get
I
them
didn't
from
write.
somebody else?
I didn't write either one. Snuff Garrett,
Okay.
who was our producer, he found them and just happened to be from some people I knew. Matter of fact, give you an idea. Way back in the 50s, there was a town hall party. It was a TV show
Okay.
out of California and out of Compton area, I think. And I'd go there with my brother. I was about 14, 15 years old, 16 years old. And I'd go there with my brother and I'd meet all the players and stuff. There was a guy down there that was Larry Collins. Larry and Lori Collins, the Collins kids, they called themselves. They was a part of the show, the main part of the show. They were very, very talented. And he ended up being the one who co-wrote Oklahoma. And years later, I got it. And I had a hit off a song that I had met him when he was a kid running across the stage playing guitar. So it's just amazing sometimes how everything connects. But I think I had been doing a lot of playing, a lot of work around with my brother Lefty, doing some of his songs, a lot of his songs, especially when he was up there singing. I did a little harmony, play a little guitar with him, throw a little harmonica on it, you know. But I knew the importance, how important it was to have your own hit song. Matter of fact, almost every day my brother Lefty would say, "All right, David," he said, "you're getting a chance to meet everybody. You're getting a chance to see everybody, hear everybody, work with them and all." He says, and that's beautiful. He said, "Learn all you can." But he said, at the end of the day, we don't need another Johnny Cash. He's doing that very well. He says, and we don't need another me. He said, I'm having trouble with him myself. So he said, we need a David. How do you meet all of these folks? And at the end of the day, just remember, we need a David. And so that stuck in my mind all that time. So I was constantly on the look for a hit song. And when I heard You're the Reason God Made Oklahoma, I just knew that was a hit song. Yeah. Same thing with Wino. When I felt that this is a hit song, we do it right. But come to find out, I don't know if anybody could have done it, would have been a hit. But the way me and Shelly connected and sang that song was Snuff Garrett, Steve Dorff. Steve Dorff's just one of the geniuses that I know in this business. And he helped arrange it and, produce it and all of that. And we just came out of there and I just knew it was a hit song. I said, I finally did it. I finally did it. And so 1981, You're the Reason God Made Oklahoma, showed me we were right. Thanks to Clint Eastwood, folks like that, Snuff Garrett. Oh, man, we had us a #1 record.
Yeah, so that was good advice from Lefty then.
Absolutely. He told me one time, I got to tell you this, my big brother Lefty, he was an amazing man. But I got to tell you, he said, David, he said, there's 2 things in this business that you need to know and you need to remember and you need to act on. And I said, what? 2 things? 2 things? Just remember these 2 things. You got to have a big ego and you got to have a thick skin to be in this business and make it. So I took all of that to heart. And when I got a chance to show it, I showed it.
Yeah, he was right about that too. Yeah.
He was right about that too. If somebody tells you can't do something, if you feel you can, do it,
Yeah.
Step out there. And another thing that I learned during that time was to always be ready. You never know when somebody's going to say, take it, David. Show them what you can do, David. You got to be ready to jump up. Happened to me one time when we had a little meeting, Lefty had a little meeting going on, a publishing thing. And I was in the other room and he was singing a couple of new songs for Troy Martin, who was running Gene Archery's publishing company and here in Nashville. And so Lefty had a session coming up and he said, David, come. He said, David, he hollered at me, David, come in here and sing a couple of those new songs for Troy. So I just grabbed the guitar and sang it. Now, if I hadn't have done that, if I said, oh, I don't remember the words, or I don't know if I did any of that, it wouldn't have worked. But the next, Troy Martin left that meeting, went to Don Law of Columbia Records. It's 1959. And he said, boy, you better, and he said, Don, he said, you got to sign this David. He is amazing. The next day we went to town and Don Law of Columbia Records, A&R man, he stuck out his hand and said, this handshake is going to do until I get you a contract. You're now part of Columbia Records. But I did it because I was ready. So always be ready. You never know.
So what are you actually up to at the moment? Have you got any recordings or?
Well, I tell you what, your Oklahoma 40th anniversary, 1981, it went number one or all around all everywhere. And so recently, knowing we're going to do a 40th anniversary celebration of that incredible song. And so we're getting ready to do all kinds of different virtual tours and that kind of stuff, talking about that particular song, how it came to pass, how it became a number one hit. And you know what? If I was to stop and I kind of basically have over the last 40 years, to just thank all the people that was involved in making that song number one and as big as it was, and it still is, I would still be thanking people. There was a lot of people involved in making that song number one.
Okay.
So that, and then we just signed a big deal with Time Life, and they're doing all kinds of things, doing everything that I've done in my career. So we're involved with all of that.
Did you do much with Merle Haggard? I mean, did you perform with him a lot?
Yes, we did some. We did quite a bit. Did a lot of projects together. I did a Buddy Holly project, and first one I called was Merle Haggard. I called Merle and got him on the phone. This is probably, I don't know what year it was, just a few years back, and 2009 maybe 2000 something. Anyway, I called him up and he said, "So what, Merle, where you at? What are you doing?" He said, "I'm driving into my driveway. What do you need, David?" I said, "Hey," have you ever heard of a fellow named Buddy Holly? He said, "David, everybody's heard of Buddy Holly." I said, "Well, then you won't mind helping me on this project, will you?" He said, "What do you want? What do you need?" And I said, "I need you to record a couple songs." But you know what? All the times that I spent with Brother Lefty and all the times I spent with the great Merle Haggard, neither one of those guys ever told me no. Everything I ever wanted to do, they backed it.
Okay, this has been Country Music News International. My name is Nigel Sharpe, and I have had the great privilege this evening of speaking to Mr. David Frizzell. David, thanks again for your time. Great stories. Love to hear all of those. And you take care of yourself.
Thank you, pal.
Keep on trucking, as they say.
You keep on trucking out there. It's going to take people like you to help us keep going. Thank you, Nigel.
God bless you.
Bye-bye now. Bye-bye.
Bye.